Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the home of the Storm. I'm Pierce Gordon. With me tonight is Finley Gober. So we bring you a matchup between the Summit Storm and the Henley Hornets. Henley, one of the stronger teams in 4A, coming into the home of the Storm and looking to really make a name for themselves and prove themselves as the Storm really got out to a slow start, looking to bounce back from that. As Finn, what did you think of the Storm's last performance against Wilsonville here?
Well, this is the crossroads of the season. This is the most pivotal point for the Storm. They're 0-3. They need this win, especially against the 4A reigning state championships and the Henley Hornets. This would be a really big home win for them to get some momentum going into the rest of the season because it has been a really rough start. They've played some really tough opponents, and it's time for them to really prove who they can really be with this talent that's on their team. It is important to note, though, we're 3 games into the season. They're looking at some injuries, especially on defense. Alex Neveroff is injured. He's not playing in tonight's game. He's a massive, massive weapon on defense for the Storm, and that's a huge loss for them going into tonight's game.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Really, Alex Neveroff being out for the Storm, massive loss tonight. As I mean, him and Ari Villano were the two really leading seniors on the team there. As we get set for kickoff here, Storm receiving the ball first. As we are underway from Summit Stadium, kick is caught and ran up past the 20, about to the 23-yard line. So the Storm with all right field position to start the game, as the young Storm roster will come out onto the field here. And yeah, we can both agree on this. Storm 0-3, really 3 tough teams. Especially the most recent one that we watched was Wilsonville, and I mean Wilsonville 5A powerhouse along with Summit, but Summit really just trying to build up that young team, and really they have the skill, and in my opinion it's mental. What's your take on that, Finn?
I mean, yeah, agreed. Wilsonville came and spoiled the Storm's home opener last week, and I think it was a tough loss for the players. They really wanted to win that, obviously, in front of the home crowd, but we'll see how they bounce back tonight. You're right. It's really just a mental battle. They showed that they got the guys, they got the talent to get this done, and we'll see here on the opening play of their drive what they do. Guthrie and shotgun. Weird snap, and it looks like a tackle in the backfield for a loss of a few yards there. Not the start they were looking for.
Yeah, not the start they were looking for at all there, as that's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 as Storm really, I mean, we'll see with Neveroff out. Neveroff was a big impact player on defense last game, but Storm's defense really been able to settle in and really hold opponents and put their offense in a chance to win games, but the offense really hasn't been able to step up to the table.
And here's a toss to the right. Crocker has space, and just like that, there's a first down on just the second play of the drive. Very explosive play there from Crocker, and I think you're going to see them doing that all night. They're just going to pound the run game against this Hornets team. I think that Summit has the guys down in the trenches that they need to win this game on the line of scrimmage, and I think that they can prove that running the ball.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. That's a great start for the Storm, as they'll go right back to it, and why not, and pick up about 7-8 on that. Again, Storm really able to set in that ground game, which can make a young quarterback really comfortable with throwing the ball.
Yeah, I think Sawyer Crocker at running back is going to have a really fun night based on this start.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. Storm with a pretty deep running back room. They rotate in a lot of guys there. So it brings up 2nd and about 5. They'll hand it off again. Why not? And stopped in the backfield there.
Yeah, it looks like they might have lost a few yards there. I really want to see them, be quick to get the ball in the air, start throwing some passes. We saw Guthrie last game. It was a bit of a struggle for him, especially with that Wilsonville defense attacking him all game, but he did prove that he is a really talented quarterback, and I'd like to see him really capitalize on that tonight. And here he drops back, and the pass is dropped. That's incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down for the Storm.
We'll take another look at this, but I mean, I think that's definitely good coverage there by Henley, but I think this is a pass that you need to catch to help your young quarterback out. Dropping back in the pocket, I mean, I think that was a well-placed ball, and I feel good for showing for the Storm there. Fortunately, receiver was unable to come down with it for the Henley defense, able to force a drop on 3rd down there.
Yeah, I think if I'm the Storm, obviously that's not the result you wanted, but that was a great pass from Guthrie, and I think if he's going to be throwing the rock like that all night, you're in for a pretty decent show on offense. The punt lands around the Summit 20, as Henley will have their first opportunity on offense here.
Yeah, and we'll see what Henley can do on offense here against a Storm defense that I think is one of the older rosters. A lot of the seniors mostly playing their specialty, playing defense. So we'll see how the Storm defense can do against this Henley offense. As we saw earlier, big turnout for the students again, really supporting this team even after last week.
And here we go. Henley's going to run it up the middle to start, and the Summit will stop them on the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
That's exactly what you wanted if you're the Summit defense. Get a 1-yard loss there on first down, forcing a 2nd and 11. And then if they can get another short yardage play or loss of yardage play here, that really closes the playbook down for 3rd down.
And Hornets go with the screen, find some space, and there's another tackle. That'll bring up 3rd down for Henley.
That'll be about a 3rd and I think call it 5, 6 there, maybe 7. As the Storm now, if they can force a 3 and out here on Henley's first drive, really putting some, really will boost the confidence of the offense, I think, which is really what they need.
And Henley drops back to pass. A little sketchy in the backfield. He's trying to find some room. Extends the play. Passes up. And looks like it was incomplete.
Yeah, I think they're going to call him out of bounds there. So we'll take another look at that. Henley's quarterback really doing a good job feeling the pressure, rolling out of the pocket, and doing all he can on a 3rd down there, getting the ball to his receiver. But receiver was out of bounds there. So will be a 4th and about 7.
Looks like the receiver is out of bounds.
Yeah, really impressive play there from the QB, though. He was feeling a lot of pressure, extended the play, made a solid pass. Obviously, it was out of bounds, but pretty impressive show there from the QB, and really short and disappointing drive for Henley. And here comes the punt. Looks like Villano back to receive the punt for the Storm. And he's off and finds some space, but is ultimately taken down just around the Henley 39. And he's a bit slow to stand up, but it looks like he's all right.
Yeah, Villano really the one of the bright stars for bright players for the Storm team here. Really just allowing them to do a lot more, and what you saw with the first broken tackle there, really just the spark of this team.
And here comes the Summit offense for their 2nd drive. Hopefully get some points on the board after what looked like a pretty promising start for them. Obviously, it wasn't a super long drive, but we'll see what they can get done here. And whistle is blown.
It's like wanted a player off the field for something there, as the Storm will make a substitute in, and was about to get real nervous there with a 1st down penalty. The Storm cannot afford those on offense.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big problem for them last week. And here's Villano on the jet, and he picks up a couple of yards.
Yeah.
Just tackled out of bounds. But those penalties were just drive killers for the Storm last week. I mean, I think they started probably their first 4 or 5 drives with different penalties, and it was a huge problem for them. And when they finally started to get momentum on that Wilsonville defense, it would just bite them in the butt like that. It was a really big problem for them. But it looks like a much more disciplined start here so far on offense. And here's a screen, and Villano tries to extend the play, but he's taken down in the backfield for a loss of 1.
Yeah, I've liked the play call so far. Really giving Villano the chance to do something here. They get it out to him on the quick out screen pass there. Able to break 1, but I mean, you can't expect a guy to break 5 tackles there, as that sets up a 3rd and 10 here for the Storm.
And Guthrie drops back to pass, but whistles are blown.
I think that's going to be a timeout by Henley before the snap went off. And
Interesting call there. Coach must have seen something he didn't like.
Yeah.
But
The Hornets
that's
take
pretty
a timeout.
unfortunate for the Storm. I mean, kind of show their hand there. But, I do like to see them dropping Guthrie back in the pocket a little bit more to start this game compared to last week. Give him the opportunity to throw the ball in the air, maybe make a play that way. But that run game looked really solid on that first drive, and can't say the same on the second drive.
Yeah. Run game, yeah, I agree. Looked really solid on that first drive. And then you saw a very impressive pass from Guthrie there, young quarterback. Receiver just unable to handle it with the very strong coverage there on defense by Henley. As well, this I wouldn't say very important 3rd and 10, but with the course of the game, I mean, this can really set a tone. And we know how mental this sport is.
Definitely. I mean, this is, maybe other than basketball, but honestly, this maybe more is just probably the sport that involves the most momentum. And you're going to hear us say momentum all night. And here's Guthrie dropping back to pass, and Villano catches it for the first down. Storm extending their drive on an explosive play.
And Gunther looking
Guthrie pass.
miles better, showing what he can do with his arm, stepping back in the pocket, finding Villano on that little cut out route there.
I mean, yeah, that was great vision. And, he tends to look to the right of the field, I've noticed, but he did a really good job just finding his guy and making the play. He looks a lot more confident, and Crocker picks up a couple of yards, but there's a flag on the field. We'll see what the refs have for us here.
That's Sawyer Crocker on the carry.
As I think that was probably going to be a holding. Any flag you see in the backfield, normally a holding call there, as that will back the Storm up 10, which is unfortunate. We talked about earlier, those first down penalties, the Storm can't afford to have them, as refs taking a long time to discuss this one and coming out, and yeah, it will be a holding on the Storm. So it'll be a 1st and 20 from probably about the Storm, about the 50-49.
Yeah, those holding calls are really tough for those O linemen because, I mean, if we're being honest, there's going to be holding on pretty much every single play in football. It just depends on how good you are at hiding it, and it backs you up quite a ways if you don't get away with it. So
Yeah.
it's a really tough position for the O-line. I mean, it's one of the hardest positions in sports for a reason.
Just watch some Chiefs offensive line film, and you'll see a lot of good job hiding holds there. As Storm now setting up for a 1st and 20 here. Guthrie dropping back in the pocket. Quick pass, dangerous pass.
It's incomplete, luckily, but that was deadly close to being an interception. And, I mean, that would have been a total shift in the feel of this game so far. I hope that doesn't shake Guthrie's confidence at all because he's been really solid to start off this game.
Yeah, give a lot of credit to Henley's D-line there, able to read the screen very well and get out. It's a tough thing for a QB to see because you're expecting that D-line to come right at you on the blitz, but that'll bring up a 2nd and 20 here. And what was looking like a promising drive for the Storm has kind of faded out because of that first down penalty.
And here's another pass and big hit. Villano frustrated he couldn't reel in the explosive play down the field, and that's going to bring up 3rd down for the Storm. 3rd and very long.
Yeah, a really well-timed hit here. I mean, that's the best. I mean, right as Villano touched that ball, they were right on him there. So.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much just sucks as a receiver.
Yeah.
That's the worst play in football
Yeah.
if you're a receiver. And Guthrie drops back on the 3rd and long, releases it quick, and it's dropped again. Another good pass from Guthrie, just not quite reeled in from Cutler Hoban there. And the punt team is going to come out for the Storm, and we're still scoreless after a couple drives into this game.
Yeah, you get a different feel from the Summit offense this game than you did against the Wilsonville game. In the Wilsonville game, I feel the confidence, you feel the energy, and the Storm have traditionally been a very big play team. I mean, you remember back 3 years ago, to the state championship winning teams, and
the punt is unfortunately muffed. That's going to be a turnover on downs for the Storm. And some really unfortunate field positioning for their defense, and that's a big momentum shift. And what started out looking like a solid beginning to the game for the Storm just shifted big time, and Henley needs to capitalize here if they want to stay in this game. I mean, like we said before, Summit's a 5A team, Henley's a 4A team. Summit definitely maybe has the guys a bit more than Henley, but if Henley can capitalize here and continue to suck the energy out of the Summit team, I think that could be really big for them. And here they come on offense.
And as I was talking about big plays, Henley makes a big play of their own as they hand it off, and the Storm D line getting move. I mean, if we'll take another look at that, but I mean, you see right when the ball snapped, this off the line gets moved 2 yards back. I mean, not much more you could ask from this D line as you see every offensive lineman on that getting pushed back. Great job there.
Yeah, it's been a super disciplined and super strong start for the Storm defense, and they've been keeping the Storm in the game so far. They've been super great, and I mean, I was going to mention, Summit is really kind of beating themselves right now. They've been playing solid, but they're just making really small mistakes, and that's been biting them. And here's Henley in the backfield.
Quarterback rolling around there, trying to make something happen. As there's a flag down in the secondary there. That could go both ways. Flags in the secondary, you never know. But as it stands right now, it will be about a 3rd and 5 as the officials are going to convene and talk it over.
Yeah, I mean, another impressive play from Henley's quarterback, number 18, Joe Johnny. He's been making a lot. He's been working with not much in the backfield there. I mean, we're just saying that Summit's D-line has been really pushing back the line of scrimmage for the Hornets, and he's still been, trying to find pockets, trying to find space in the backfield. That's quite impressive, and, I'm pretty happy if I'm a Hornets fan to see my QB extending plays like that.
These officials taking a long time to talk this over here. Wonder what the call is going to be on the field as we see all of them convening, talking. Both teams kind of staying in their position. Is that's going to be against the Storm there? That's the first initial motion from the head official there. Don't have the microphones on them, so need to wait for their symbol here as they're still talking it over here. As there will be a penalty against the Storm. Not sure what it was. We never got a symbol there, but looked to be 10-yard, probably a holding in the secondary. It's my guess. And that will set up, I mean, really defensive killer there, as that will set up Henley with 1st and 10 just outside of the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to mention, though, as we enter the red zone, that the Summit defense has been solid, as you see right there with the tackle in the backfield. And when this field gets shorter and shorter, they're just going to get better and better.
I mean, we talked about not having Neveroff on the D-line there, which we think is one of the Summit's best players on defense. I mean, every other player on the D-line has stepped up. I mean, every single one of them are winning their one-on-one matchups, one-on-two matchups there. And I think Henley's probably in negative rushing yards so far this game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, pretty much the only positive yards they've gotten so far was that screenplay and then that penalty just now. So it's been a slow start for their offense, but they are in great position with great opportunity to make a dent in this Summit defense to start off this game and drop back to pass. Rush comes, and he has space, and that looks like maybe 7 yards for the Hornets there. Just another scramble. He's been doing such a good job extending plays that Summit's secondary is getting so far down the field. He's having a ton of space to get upfield on the scrambles. And, I mean, we're talking about negative rush yards. I think he's probably made up for it just from scrambling.
Yeah, I mean, the Storm saw a lot of that against Wilsonville. Wilsonville's quarterback, very athletic, able to stay in the pocket. And, I mean, Storm really just going to need to hold the angles there and keep them in the pocket. I mean, a lot easier for me to say up here in a box, but as this crowd trying to ignite this Storm defense here on 3rd down. They hand it off inside, and he is going nowhere, stopped at the line.
Yeah, great tackle there from the Storm, and that's going to bring up 4th down for the Hornets, so I think we just might be looking at a field goal.
Or go for it. We've seen very common in high school, a lot more so, with the kind of the analytics trickling down into the high school world of going for it on 4th down being worth it.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to go for it on 4th down. And, I don't hate that call. I think when you have young kickers in high school, a field goal isn't as high percentage of a play. And Jenny drops back to pass in the air, and it's knocked out by the Storm. But there's a flag on the field.
Ooh.
mind immediately goes to pass interference.
We'll take another look at that.
Jerry's passes both
We'll
allowed.
see. That is a tough
But there is a
break
flag.
as
Yeah, I don't know about pass interference there, but we'll see what the call is from the referees. Talking it over on the field.
yeah, they're going to call pass interferences. We'll take another look here.
Maybe pass interference.
Quarterback doing a good job stepping down in the pocket. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, not a terrible call because there was plenty of contact on the play. I don't know that it directly affected the catch, but, a penalty is a penalty, and
Yeah.
that's yet again going to extend this drive when the Hornets really needed it. So looks like they're going to be looking at great field position, try and get in the end zone here, and we'll see if this Storm defense can stick them out and try and make a couple big plays here.
Yeah, definitely a controversial call, but you can't. There was contact, and really, you can't leave it up to the official there. That can't be something that the officials, especially on a fourth down like that, that can't be something that you leave up to the officials to make a call or not. I mean, there no reason to do that. That ball was overthrown. That was out of his reach. No reason to make contact there. Just let that go.
Yeah, again, easy for us to say, but we'll see the Hornets here. And fake the run, it's an option. QB looking for space. And he's knocked out of bounds by the Storm defense.
Yeah, Kai Scally doing a really good job holding contain there. As Storm have seen a lot of those quarterback runs, especially against Wilsonville, so should be well prepared for the runs here.
Number 18, Kai Scally. Pushes back. Brings up second down.
And here comes the Henley offense for that second down. Summit defense making some adjustments. Some motion, and it looks like another run play for Joe Janney, and he can't quite find the space, so that's going to bring up third down, and this Summit defense is super disciplined, and they're just not giving anybody on Henley any space to make a play.
They let, 3 yards there, 4-yard pickup for Henley, but, Storm really doing a lot better job of keeping them forward and making them run laterally versus vertically.
Yeah, and I think a 3-4 yard pickup isn't a huge deal. At this point, it's just keep them out of the end zone.
Red zone defense.
And, it's a third down. You assume maybe one more play after this if this doesn't work out for Henley, and it's incomplete, so that'll bring up fourth down. I wonder if they'll go for it here. I wouldn't be surprised. Like we were saying before, in high school, that field goal isn't as high percentage of a play. Maybe from this distance it is, but a lot of high school teams like going for it on fourth down, trying to make a play. And it looks like that is what Henley's going to be doing.
Yeah, on that play there, receiver was, you could somewhat say open, but that would have needed to have been a perfect pass as Henley will decide to bring out the field goal unit here. So this will be not a chip shot here.
Yeah, definitely not 3 points. Still going to make the play.
Snap is good, kick is up, and it is through. Henley on the board first with 3.
Yeah, I think, that's a pretty good sign, honestly, for the Summit defense. Henley got all the breaks on that drive. They had a lot of big penalty calls that got them back in position to make a play, and they still only came out with a field goal, so I'm not mad if I'm the Summit defense. You got a lot of unfortunate mistakes, some penalties that can really hurt you in those situations, but they still managed to be super disciplined and keep making those plays on defense. We'll be right back. And here comes the kickoff from Henley to the Storm. Last play, the only touchdown Summit saw, last game, the only touchdown the Storm saw was actually on the opening kickoff of the second half where Villano made a play all the way to the house. And here comes the kick from the Hornets. And it's out of bounds.
Ooh.
Anderson steps out of bounds. Tried
Yeah.
super hard to stay in balance there. I mean, that was honestly pretty impressive body control. But
Impressive body control, but if he just let it fall out of bounds there, the Storm would have gotten it at the 40-yard line. So you saw him frustrated with himself after that play. I mean, if he just let that ball go out, it would have been at the 40. But I mean, that's high school football. There's mental mistakes. It's part of the game.
yeah, I mean, that's going to bring up some really tough starting field positioning for the Storm. I imagine that they'd try and bring it on the run, try and get a couple yards, maybe pick up a first down. That run game was looking really solid with Sawyer Crocker earlier in this game.
So they go right back to him, and Henley all over. Oh, no, they don't. Sorry, I got faked out there.
Yeah, what an impressive read there from Guthrie, and he's going to pick up a first down on that option. That just worked perfectly for the Storm. I mean, you can see Guthrie did an incredible job concealing the ball and falling forward on the tackle to make the play.
Yeah, I mean, I even got faked out on that one with the as well as the Henley defense. So sets up the Storm at the 1st and 10 just below their 20.
And Crocker extending the play, and he's still moving forward, and that's going to be another first down for the Storm. Really working with that field positioning that they started with, and they're all the way up to where they probably wanted to be to start the drive. But 2 super explosive plays, super solid plays, and they're right back at it. Good field positioning. Here's the first down for the Storm, and they'll run it again. And Crocker again looks like 9, maybe 10 yards.
Not going to give him the first down. I call that a 2nd and inches there, as we're approaching 1 minute left in the quarter here. So that will bring up a second. Ooh, they move him back 2nd and 1. Storm kind of going with a little tempo here as they pitch it out, and not going anywhere.
Yeah, nothing there for the Storm. Henley with some energy on the sideline there. That was a big play for them, and that's going to bring up 3rd down. And, I mean, that's going to be super unfortunate for the Storm, because they went from what looked like a first down to 3rd and 6, maybe 3rd and 7. And it's going to be a tough play here. I think they go to the air, let Guthrie chuck the ball. He's been doing a great job making quick reads, decisive passes. I think you let him see what he can do, and he will drop back to pass. And the pass is complete to Villano, and then some, and he's still going forward, and he's brought down on the Henley, looks like the 43.
Yeah, and that's a very impressive play from Guthrie there. Just able to get it out to Villano and able to pick up the first down there. And that's what positive yards on first down does for you there. They had that negative 2nd down play, as Henley will call a timeout here with 31 seconds left in the quarter. But that's what positive yards does to you on a first down. You get those positive yards, you make it 2nd and 1, you get a negative play on 2nd and 1. It's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, which is a lot more manageable. It really opens up the playbook instead of a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15.
Yeah, that was a really big play for this Summit offense, and I mean, Guthrie's just looked laser sharp so far. He looks completely reborn after last week against Wilsonville. He's been making, like I said, really decisive passes and really accurate passes. I mean, even some of those passes that have been incomplete haven't really been his fault. He's been throwing timely passes, and he's been throwing super sharp, accurate passes to his receivers, making life easy for them. And I think what's been a big help, honestly, is this O-line. They've been doing a super solid job against the Hornets here so far. And here's a screenplay, and Summit brought down in the backfield for a loss of 2. That screenplay hasn't really been working for them. They went to that a lot last week against Wilsonville, and honestly, they saw a lot of success on it. But I think if I'm them, I'm going to throw deep. They've been burning Henley all game. Their receivers have been getting open. I think go ahead, chuck it downfield, and go try and make a play. You don't need to throw it underneath and do these checkdowns on every play.
Yeah, and that will bring us to the end of the quarter here. Henley up 3-0 on the Storm, but the Storm offense looking like I have a promising drive on their hands, as we'll be back on the other end of the quarter.
And we're back for the second quarter of action here. Summit looking at a pretty positive drive so far. And here they go on 2nd and 11. We're going to run it up the middle, and looks like another stop for Henley, but Summit makes a play, and here's Crocker. He's moving, and he's still on his feet. All the way to the Hornets' 15-yard line. And, I mean, he just turned nothing into something like it was magic.
Yeah.
That was an incredible
We'll
play.
take another look. He's stopped way in the backfield here, breaks a tackle, makes a cut, and he sees grass in front of him and makes a run. His Guthrie out there trying to throw a block for his running
Guthrie
back.
comes downfield looking for a block, and, I mean, that is both a good and bad sign.
There is a flag on the play, and you wonder if it is that block as the officials are discussing it. So we'll take another look at the amazing run. So he gets out, and we'll see Guthrie here at the end throw a block, and they'll wave the flag, and I agree with that there, as maybe they were thinking of blocking the back there, but Guthrie was really ahead of the Henley defender and just lowered his shoulder into his chest. That's a textbook block from your quarterback there. Not sure you want him doing that, but
Yeah, but either way, we like to hustle. And here comes first down for the Storm, and they're looking for the end zone. They see red, and here comes the motion, and here's Villano. Finds some space upfield, and what a play. That's going to bring up 1st and goal for the Storm on the Henley 2, maybe 3-yard line.
yeah, and Villano really just using his speed there to get around the edge. Like, they've been trying to incorporate that a lot. We saw that a lot in the Wilsonville game, and finally able to execute it as it brings up 1st and goal from the 5.
Really short formation for the Storm.
As the ball falls out and the Storm able to fall on it, as that is a young quarterback right there making a mistake.
I mean, yeah, that could have been detrimental for Summit.
So we'll take another look. Guthrie trying to get to the outside, his own teammate. Ooh, that could have been bad there.
As a Storm, you just got to make sure that you don't let that shake you. And here's Guthrie dropping back, finds a guy, and it's incomplete. And if you're a Storm fan, getting a little nervous. I mean, you know, you had a super explosive couple of plays there, and now you're kind of like coming to a halt here. You've lost a couple of yards. I think Summit should take it keep it on the ground again here. But, you know, I'm not a head coach. We'll see what they do. And they are going to run the ball, and Guthrie has it, breaks a few tackles, and he's just short of the end zone. So that will bring up 4th and goal. I'd imagine they're going to kick the field goal, and it looks like the kick team is coming out.
Number 65 for the Hornets.
As, yeah, 4th and goal from the 5. I think really, yeah, take the points. I think match Henley here, and I put a lot of trust in this defense right now.
Yeah, the defense has been really good, and really the only thing that they've allowed Henley to gain yards on is penalties, and, you know, that's going to happen with younger teams like this.
That is still not a guaranteed 3. Good snap, good hold, and that is through the uprights. That will tie the game up at 3 with 10:06 left in the half. We got a good ball game here.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a solid start for both teams. Of course, Summit's looked a little more explosive. They just struggled a little bit with finishing out their drives, putting the ball in the end zone. Henley, on the other hand, you know, they got really lucky on that last drive, and they made a lot of plays that extended the drive for them. They were able to get points on the board. I think for both teams, you know, it's a little discouraging to have to settle for a field goal, but you just got to put your head down and keep going. Neither of these teams are out of this game whatsoever. You know, as far as they know, it's 0-0. So I think, you know, with the Henley offense coming back out here, Summit defense has been super good. They just got to keep doing what they're doing. But if Henley can make a couple plays and start to cut through the Summit defense a bit, that could start to really set up this game for them to maybe come here and spoil another game for the Storm.
Yes, the Storm special team's taking a long huddle there. As we
Onside kick. No, I'm just kidding. But
yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot weirder here. But I imagine here no need to with the way the Summit defense has been playing so far.
Okay, Max Shepard to kick off for the Storm. It looks like Connor Shelby number 3 and Bryson Montag to return for the Hornets.
As if you're just joining us here, it's 3-3, been a pretty competitive game so far. Summit 0-3, but really playing some tough competition. And Henley, one of the powerhouses in the 4A conference in Oregon. As we'll get underway with 10:06 left, as Henley catching it, is the kick returner able to bring it up just past the 20, and that will set up the Henley offense pretty nice, or not, set up the Henley offense.
Pretty nice might be an overstatement,
Yeah.
but nice little return there for the Hornets, and we'll see if they can start to break down this Summit defense a bit early in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think the key for Henley is really that offensive line, and the key for the Storm is the defensive line. Really, I think whoever can win the battle of the trenches, whoever can win that, will really come out on top.
Yeah, and so far, Summit has just been dominating the line of scrimmage, and they've been giving Henley almost no space to make any plays. And we'll see what Henley can do here to start off their drive. Dropping back to pass, it's in the air, and it's complete, and he has space. He's looking for the end zone. He sees red, and someone able to make a tackle in the backfield, but, I mean, that's just a huge way to open this drive for Henley.
So take another look at that. Henley just able to find the soft spot in the zone. The safety not able to get over to him quick enough. Quarterback dropping a dot, and it's off to the races there. Luckily, Storm safety able to catch up with him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time we've really seen this Summit defense out of position and a little frantic on defense. And, I mean, last time they were kind of able to stuff Henley near the goal line and make them settle for a field goal. We'll see if they can do it again after a really explosive play. And there is a tackle in the backfield, so that's going to bring up 2nd and goal for the Hornets.
Very impressive there. Shooting the gap, able to make the sound tackle. As another one of the Storm seniors here, Marco Larson, one of the leaders in the team, making that tackle.
And here's Henley on 2nd down. And it's a counter and looking for space. Can't quite reach the end zone, so that'll bring up another 3rd down. And what a nail biter for Henley. Both trips to the red zone so far have just been like almost there, not quite there. Are we going to get there? I think, maybe if you don't get it here, maybe you go for it on 4th down, try and keep that momentum going and build that lead a little bit more. But we'll see what happens here on 3rd down.
As this crowd trying to ignite the Storm defense again. 3rd down, dropping back to pass on 3rd and goal, getting pressured, forced into the corner, and just needs to throw it away there.
Yeah, and I mean, now here comes the question. Do you kick the field goal or do you go for it? I stated the positives. The negatives, though, if you get stuffed, that's a huge momentum killer after what's been pretty much your only super positive offensive play. And, I mean, when I say super positive, it was super positive for them. And it looks like they are going to go ahead and kick the field goal, though. And, I mean, I'd imagine it'll go through the uprights, build their lead a bit more. But after a play like that, it feels like a disappointment if you're a Hornets fan.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. Really, that could have almost been a touchdown if it wasn't for the Storm safety flagging him down, as the kick is almost blocked but able to get through the uprights there. As it is good, and that will bring us to 6-3 in the second quarter here.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty solid job by the Summit defense after really messing up on that first play. And we'll see if the offense can come out here. And, I mean, if I'm Summit, I really want a touchdown here. This is a pretty pivotal drive for them. They've let Henley put points on the board the last 2 trips on defense, and if they can put some points on the board, specifically via a touchdown, if they can do that here on this drive, I think that keeps them in this game and really kind of perpetuates them forward for further momentum and further opportunities to put more points on the board.
Yeah, I really agree with you there, Finn. I think really, Storm offense has yet to get an offensive touchdown at home. Of course, we saw Villano with the kick return last week, but no offensive touchdown at home. And I really think just breaking the seal there, just like the pressure coming off you there, you got your touchdown. And I think that will be big if the Storm can get a drive going here. Big thing is just positive first down plays. That really sets up their offense, and that's how they got 3 earlier on. As first they need to execute on special teams, as Villano will fake handoff there, still has it, cutting up the edge. Not very many Henley defenders
And
in front of
space.
him as he's
moving, and he's out of bounds near the 40.
Villano again providing some electrifying special teams.
I mean, yeah,
plays.
that faked me out. It faked the camera out, too. I mean, that was a super impressive play there from the Storm. And that's going to bring up a first down and a bit more momentum. And, I mean, again, you're going to hear us say momentum all night long. But it really is a game of momentum. They say it's a game of inches, but I think it's a game of momentum. And here comes Summit on the first down. I think let Guthrie chuck the rock. Try and make a big play yet again here. Following up a good kick return. And that's going to be a tackle in the backfield for a loss of about 2 on the rush, but there are flags in the backfield.
We're going to get a flag after the play here. This could be on either team as we'll take a look. If you look towards the bottom of your screen here, right there, you see kind of little fighting, and you wonder who that's going to be on here as the officials talking it over.
Yeah, it looks like Henley might have kind of initiated some of that extra contact.
Will be on Henley there, so that's a 15-yard penalty and sets the Storm up pretty nicely, as that's something Henley cannot do coming into an away game, hostile crowd, hostile environment, and really an offense that has shown glimmers of what they can do, and you get a positive play there and just completely ruin it with a unmature play after the whistle.
I mean, yeah, no matter what, especially in an environment like this, you cannot get frustrated, you cannot lose your cool, and you have to stay disciplined, and that's exactly what they did not do there. And, yeah, they paid for it. And the first down is blown dead by the refs. Looked like they just wanted to change the spot maybe.
Yeah.
So that's going to bring up the first down here for the Storm. And it's another pitch to Crocker, trying to find some space. And it looks like he might have just got maybe a yard or two there. Good job getting a couple yards there, though. I mean, it looked like just a dominant play there for the defense. I think Summit's been doing a good job running the ball to kind of set up that pass, but I can't help but just really want to see them throw the ball and make more explosive plays like they have so far. And Guthrie drops back to pass and sees an opening, but he's stopped. Looks like just on the line of scrimmage there. And, yeah, again, you know, a good attempt there from Guthrie, the young quarterback, but good defense there from Henley to stop him. And that's going to bring up 3rd and long just like that for the Storm.
Correction. 48.
And here comes 3rd down for Summit. Ball's in the air, and it's dropped. So that'll be another 4th down there. And after a good kick return, a big penalty to get them a couple more yards, they're going to bring out the punt team. And, I mean, again, you know, no need to get desperate if you're the Storm. It's only 3-6. It's early in the game. But you really got to get this offense rolling and get a touchdown on the board. Get some more points on the board because they've been playing good, but they just haven't been able to capitalize on some of these opportunities that they've had. And here comes the punt for the Storm. And drops the snap again, but he's able to get it off. Pretty impressive play there from the punter, honestly. And Summit's watching the ball. And it looks like it's going to be on the Henley 22 there. As the Hornets offense comes back out. And here we go again. Hornets offense out there. And they're going to drop back to pass here again on the first play. Ball's in the air, and it's overthrown. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 there for the Hornets. Very aggressive start to the drive. And honestly, a good attempt there for them. I mean, they were real close, just overthrew the ball, which, you know, that's going to happen in high school football. It happens on the NFL level too, so it's going to happen here. Going into 2nd down here for the Hornets. And it looks like it's going to be a bit of an early start there for the Storm. Flag on the field. And that's going to back them up a bit, put Henley in a bit of a better situation. And here's the Henley offense. Trying to get something going here to start off another drive. They have the lead, don't need to be too aggressive, and they're going to run it. And someone's going to stop them after maybe a yard gain, and that's going to bring up big 3rd down for the Hornets. And here we go, 3rd down. What do you got, Henley? And it's play action. Here's a screen. It's been working all game, but it won't work this time. They're short of the 1st down marker, and that's going to bring up 4th down, and I'd imagine the punt team will be coming out on the field for the Hornets. Really disciplined job on defense there from the Storm, especially after that penalty. And yep, here comes the punt team for the Hornets. And you'll see Ari Villano in the backfield to retrieve the punt for the Storm. See if he can create another explosive play like he did last week on the kickoff. And he's moving with the ball, breaks a tackle, and he's finding space, and he's down. I mean, just another incredible job extending the play there for Villano, and you know, that's just what he does. He has really incredible body control, and I mean, he's shorter, he's smaller, but I mean, he is strong, and he shows it on the field. And here comes that Summit offense after a nice little punt return from Villano. See what they can do here on 1st down. And another option there. Guthrie's going to keep it, but it looks like a gain of just 1 after he's brought down in the backfield. And it seemed like he might have fumbled it, but either way, retrieved by the Storm, so that'll bring up 2nd down for them. And, I mean, this Henley defense has been struggling a bit thus far. Have definitely been able to keep Summit out of the end zone, which has been big for them. But Summit's been killing them on the run game. If they could just do that a little more consistently. And it looked like Villano fought his way through for the 1st down there. And, yep, it's going to be a 1st down for the Storm. So, big play there. And that's going to bring them just past halfway on their way to the end zone, hopefully to get a big play here, get some more points on the board. As Guthrie drops back to pass. And he finds Villano, who holds on through the contact. But now Henley's wanting an interception here. And this might be a bit of a headache for the referees. But I think, yeah, that's going to be Summit football.
Yeah, 50-50 ball there. Normally goes to the offense if both receiver, safety, cornerback, secondary player on the defense, if the receiver and the secondary are both interlocked there, normally goes to the offense. So good call there by the officials.
And here's Guthrie taking it himself again. He's been doing that all game. I mean, he's been like a secondary running back for the Storm and picks up a couple of yards there. It's going to bring up second and short for the Storm. Second and midway, we'll say. And they're cruising down the field looking for the end zone. And a bit of a weird snap, but they're going to run it up the middle. And they're brought down on the line of scrimmage. So that'll bring up big third down for the Storm. See if they can fight through and finally make that play to get in the end zone. And here comes the third down. Guthrie chucks it, and it's complete for the first down. Big play there for the Storm as they're in the red zone looking to put some more points on the board.
Yeah, very impressive throw and catch there. Guthrie stepping in the pocket, stepping up, and delivering a well-placed throw there. Really only placed it where only the receiver could catch it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been super impressive in this game, and he's going to drop back again, and it's almost picked off yet again. I mean, that's the third time that the Storm have almost lost the ball in an interception. I mean, that wasn't even a risky throw or anything. It was just kind of
bobbled.
It was quick. It was bobbled, and they're just lucky to retain possession after that.
Yeah, Hoban there just bobbling the ball. Again, gotta. I don't want to call him a rookie, but gotta help the rookie quarterback. Gotta help the sophomore quarterback out.
Yeah, and he drops back to pass again, and looking for the end zone, but he can't find Kai Scally, so that's going to bring up third down for the Storm here.
And I like the look, though. I mean, that would have been a hell of a pass to throw it over the middle linebackers and down in to the breadbasket there, Scally. Yeah. But I like the idea. I like the look, and again, he threw it in a place. If there's anyone that has a chance of catching that ball, it's the receiver. No defense has a chance of catching that.
And Guthrie's going to do it himself yet again, but he's brought down short of the line to reach.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to bring up fourth down.
I wonder if that play sets up a going for it on fourth down. I mean, a read option there on third down gains 3 yards. It will bring up a 4th and 6, 7 offense. I think Storm will probably call a timeout here and talk it over as the offense is looking to the sideline for some direction. And yeah, they're just going to let the clock wind down a little bit and end up calling a timeout here at the end of the second. So yeah, they'll let that play clock, the imaginary play clock, wind down and then call a timeout. And we'll see what they do on the other end of this timeout. But I think so far this game, the offense looking a lot more impressive this game than the Wilsonville game. In no disrespect to Henley, but definitely Wilsonville, a lot higher caliber team, higher caliber defense. But still, I mean, you still need to make the throws. You still need to run the routes. You still need to catch the ball. So I think really good performance so far from the Summit offense and defense. I think other than that one play where Henley, what was that, 75, 80 yards on that one play there. But overall, I think a lot of stuff to like, and still a lot of stuff to build on, as there is 1:53 left in the half here.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a big decision for Coach Hyatt. And it looks like he's sending the offense out to go for it. Aggressive call here. We'll see if it pans out for the Storm.
On 4th and 8 here.
Guthrie drops back to pass. Has a guy. And it's incomplete.
We'll take another look at that.
Wow.
I mean, I like the play call there.
And, I mean, really impressive placement from Guthrie. That could have been a really great throw.
As that is
I mean,
right
he's just
there.
short of it.
Ooh.
And a great job from the Henley defense. I mean, you can see he kind of caught the receiver there a little bit. Not enough to call a penalty or anything, but very disciplined job, just doing just enough to get the play.
Yeah, as that will be a turnover on down, which is unfortunate. Could have had maybe a tie game there, but Storm electing to go for it, putting some trust in the offense, but also in the defense here. As we'll see what they can do. As Henley trying to find something, able to turn a corner there. Quarterback throwing a block, but
really good tackle for the Storm.
Yeah, Storm's still able with all the back and forth there. Probably ran 20 yards, but not vertically, laterally back and forth for a gain of about 3 there, as that will bring up 2nd and 8, or sorry, gain of 2, as that will bring up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, and a super great job there from Conrad Dodge, and they've been doing a super good job tackling in this game. I mean, it was a bit of a problem last week. There was a lot of broken tackles, especially when the ball was on the ground for that Wilsonville running squad, and they've been doing a good job just being disciplined, making fundamental plays on defense. And here's a 2nd down for the Hornets. And it's ran up the middle, and looks like a 1st down there for Henley. Great run there.
Bangs up the middle, brought down by number 10, Cutler Hoban. 1st down for the Hornets.
And Cutler Hoban with another tackle there, as we have 48 seconds left in the half. So Henley will call a time. No, clock's running here, as officials going to convene. Henley coach, I think, wanted a timeout. His clock's now down to 39 in the half, and they're going to let him play. His clock's now running down 35. Henley going to need to get something going.
Yeah, I mean, they got to hustle up on offense here.
30 seconds left. I mean, the Storm content to drop back on defense. They have 2 high safeties, and as they should, as the pressure's still getting home. Henley's quarterback dancing for his life back there and able to get out of bounds with 17 on the clock, and that will bring up a 2nd and call that probably about 7.
Yeah, that was not exactly what Henley was looking for. But, I mean, also, you don't exactly need to, march down the field and score here. You have the lead. Just protect the ball, go into half, talk it over in the locker room, and just get ready for this second half of football. I mean, even though Henley hasn't lost yet, and Summit is yet to win a game, I would call Henley the underdogs in this game. They're playing a conference up, and Henley drops back to pass, and it's brought down, so that's going to be complete with plenty of time left. And I was just saying, you don't need to go and score, but it might as well at this point. What an incredible throw from Joe Janey.
And the coverage was good. I mean, that throw was just perfectly placed. Wow. As 9 seconds left, still not in, I would say, high school field goal range at the 43, 44-yard line there. But 9 seconds left.
If you can make one more big play, one more quick big play, that is, I think you're in field goal range, and you're able to make a play there. I mean, that was a risky throw. I mean, that was like quadruple covered, and he just put it right in there. But I would imagine that the Storm at this point would probably drop most of their guys back. I think you could probably get something quick underneath, and then hopefully get a field goal up. Again, it's not as easy in high school as it is, maybe in college or on the pro level. But here comes a Henley offense, and we'll see what they can do.
An important thing to note, Henley out of timeouts here, so really going to need a throw outside or go for it all here. As quarterback rolling out, trying to make something happen, chucks it, and that's incomplete with 4 seconds left. See what they decide to do here, whether go for a Hail Mary or something.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Henley, I'm going to favorite plays, and I'm selecting 4 verts.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying go ahead and get a touchdown here. I mean, you could kick the field goal, but again, in high school, that field goal isn't necessarily a super high percent play. And yeah, they're going to bring out the offensive unit for what I'd assume is going to be the last play here.
Yeah, I mean, favorite NCAA 25 play is 4 verts. I imagine that's what they'll run here.
Yep, and that's exactly what they run. And it's up, and it is caught, but there is no time left on the clock. And it looks like it was actually incomplete, but either way, that's going to be the first half. Henley leads the Storm 6-3. It's been a low-scoring game. It's been, it's been an aggressive game. It's been a big game for both teams. They've been showing signs of life. Henley coming in as the underdog. They have the lead. They're doing a good job. They're being disciplined. But Summit, I mean, they're looking a lot better than they did last week. The offense is rolling a bit more, and they just need to tighten up a little bit and start putting the ball in the end zone, making those plays.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Finn. I think really Summit offense, I think they've played all right. Just gotten a few things that haven't fallen their way, and hopefully that will change in the second half. But give credit to Henley coming in, road environment, hostile crowd, and able to put up some good offensive drives and really the big plays. Man, the Storm have been winning the battle in the trenches, which I thought would be the big turning point, but Henley, I mean, just taking the top off the Storm defense multiple times, and not much you can do about that. As that'll bring us to half. Summit down 3-6 versus Henley, as we'll catch you on the other end of the half here. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half of football action from Bend, Oregon, and Summit High School, as Summit getting ready to kick it off to Henley. As we had despite the score, pretty exciting first half, I would say. A lot of back and forth, momentum swings, and everything you could ask for in a football game besides touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, it's been maybe a little disappointing for the viewers. You want to see the ball in the end zone. Hasn't happened quite yet, but we'll see here starting off the second half, and Henley has space and looking for the end zone, and he's still on his feet, but defense catches up, and I mean that's a really big play. And I mean, last week we saw Summit scoring their first and only touchdown of the entire game on the opening kickoff of the second half. And I mean, you see, like, he saw the ball bounce there, and then he must have seen something he liked, because he just decided to grab it, take it with him, and almost broke away for a touchdown.
Yeah, I think the ball bouncing there, the Storm defense just wasn't ready for it, and just was like, they'll just let it roll out. But no, decided to pick it up, and Henley will have great field position in the 45-yard line. But I think the detriment to Henley is that their red zone offense has not been there, and that's more of a testament, I think, to the Storm red zone defense. Only allowing field goals here, as they'll hand it off up the middle, and that is going nowhere like it has all game. This Storm D-line is really just locked down, pushing the line of scrimmage back.
Yeah, it's been a tough game for the Henley offense when it comes to the red zone. I mean, they have put points on the board, but they've had two ripe opportunities in the end zone in the red zone to get the ball down past the pylon into the end zone, and they haven't been able to capitalize. We'll see here with a good start, good field positioning, if they can do that again. And they're drop back to pass here. Janney extends the play, and it looks like he's going to scramble, and he picks up about 6 yards there. That's going to bring up 3rd and 4 for the Hornets offense. And Joe Janney's been having a great game, QB for the Hornets. He's been doing an incredible job, and he's been scrambling so much and just picking up a lot of extra yards for the Hornets. And Summit just hasn't really had an answer for that. They've been struggling a bit on the edge contain on defense. Other than that, I mean, they've been pushing that O-line back, controlling the line of scrimmage. And
another quarterback run.
And looks like he might be just short of the first down here, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go for it.
Yeah, 4th and 3 here. Henley's been going for that all game, and I don't see them changing anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think against a team like Summit, who, as we said earlier in the game, might be a little more athletic, a little more talented than the Henley team is, you got to keep your foot on the gas and keep yourself in the game. And the Hornets have been doing a super good job doing that so far, and that's why they're winning this game right now. They've been aggressive, and they don't care what someone has been doing on offense or on defense.
As I think we'll get a delay or a false start here on Henley, and that really changes the 4th down call here, as they couldn't get the play call in there, and offense was a little confused. That will back them up 5, and that will be a 4th and they'll call it 7, but a pretty long 7.
Yeah, it looks like the punt team might be coming out here for the Hornets, and I mean,
yeah,
that is a long 7. You're right, and I think that's the right decision for the head coach, Matt Green. He's been very level-headed so far in this game, and no reason to take unnecessary risk. It's not like you need to push anything here. It's early in the 3rd quarter. You have the lead, so I think the punt is the right call there. I liked going forward on 4th and 3. I don't like going for it. Oh, and he muffs the snap, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. You saw Summit do that in the first half, and Henley returns the favor.
In the exact same spot on the field, too. Something about the 45-yard line there, as he just muffs the snap, and I mean, at that point, it's just scramble drill, but I think he could have picked it up and tried to get some punt off there. I mean, I don't know, though. Easy to say sitting up here, but...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I'm the punter in that situation, I'm just going to fall on the ball, protect it, because that could have been a lot worse for him. And here comes the Summit offense.
Great field position.
Really,
out of the half here. If they can get something going, get the momentum, get the crowd into this.
Yeah, and this is going to be a really pivotal drive, probably the most important so far. Pick up a couple yards there on the run up the middle. If they don't put the ball in the end zone here, obviously, the game's nowhere near over, but that is going to start to sting them. And you saw it last game. I mean, they had a really slow start. It looked like they got something going in the second half, but then they just all game weren't able to get the ball in the end zone. And here's Guthrie, complete pass on the 1st down.
Great first play call there. Love that. Storm come to the line here, and Guthrie just going through his reads real quickly, snaps the ball, sees that cutting receiver, whole time corner playing soft on him there, and able to get that quick completion. Perfect first play for a 1st down there. And this offense is rolling with a run and a pass into Henley territory.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been seeing this praise all night, but Guthrie has been super sharp so far, especially after, a bit of a shaky performance last week. He just looks completely reborn out there. And, another good pass there, and then the run up the middle on 1st down. Picks up about a yard, so that'll bring up 2nd and 9. And one thing I've noticed, and you kind of notice this just with high school football in general, but as the field shortens, the offense gets worse and worse. But Guthrie's going to air it out, and it's incomplete. Double covered there. A bit of a risky throw, but I do like the aggression.
Yeah.
And you can see, if you watch that over, he threw it into double coverage. You had Villano just begging for the ball that whole play on the screen.
Yeah, I'm a push back on you, Finn, here. If we take another look at this, if we pause it right here, if he hits him in that back corner of the end zone there, double coverage, yes, but if he think that's what he was trying to aim for, is the back corner of the end zone, and unable to get it. But unfortunately, it won't matter for the Storm, as there was a holding call on the play, and that will back him up 10, make it 2nd and 20. Guthrie stepping back, delivering a quick pass, and that's caught, and they will earn the penalty yards back and make it 3rd and 10.
Yeah, good play right there. And that's going to get them back in this. They got a 3rd and 10. Even territory, trying to make up for that penalty. Again, just got to make those plays to get into the end zone. They've been rolling on offense to start these drives. And there's the 1st down on the comeback route, and a couple more yards there as well. Huge play there for the Storm.
Yeah, beautiful pass here. You see the middle linebacker of Henley trying to jump and grab for it right here. Unable to get it, threads it beautifully over him to Hoban on the reception there.
Yeah, and Hoban had a bit of a slow start to this game, but that's a big play from him. And here's Guthrie taking the ball himself, and he's going to pick up a few yards there.
And this Storm offense able to dig themselves out of a 2nd and 20. Massive improvement. I also think, again, we talked about the mental side of the game a lot, and I think, your first home game as a sophomore in front of hundreds and maybe 1,000 people. That's got to be really nerve-wracking, especially against Wilsonville. The snap is high there, and Guthrie's able to recover it. And as saying a good drive immediately goes.
Goes a bit bad,
Yeah.
but still have opportunity here on the 3rd and long, and you saw it on the last series. They were able to convert on that 3rd and long. But yeah, I mean, as you were saying, Guthrie did have a shaky game last week, and it was a really loud night. The crowd was bumping, and they were expecting something big. And here it is, aired out, and it's dropped in the end zone.
Oh.
Villano just can't reel it in, but a perfect pass from Guthrie.
Yeah, as we'll take another look at that. Guthrie stepping back in the pocket, steps up, and delivers a beauty of a pass to Villano. And such a frustrating thing if you're Summit there. I mean, that was a touchdown waiting to happen. As it looks like they're going to go for it on 4th and 15, putting a lot of trust in the offense or defense. Looking deep, has him over the middle. Is it a first down? No. They're going to say he's short.
And I mean, that's a risky and a ballsy play call, but I really, really like how aggressive they were right there. And it didn't quite work out, but they drew up the play perfectly, and it was a big gain. I think, it was just a little bit too much for the Storm, and that is going to bring out the Hornets offense. But I really like that drive for them. They did make mistakes, but they were able to recover from them. Again, couldn't quite put the ball in the end zone, even on that wide open pass to Villano. And I think that sets them up nicely on defense, and it also sets them up nicely on offense for the rest of the game after a bit of an ego boost on that drive there. Again, no points on the board, but I really like what they did there, and I like how aggressive they continued to be. And here's the run, and breaks a couple tackles, but he's ultimately stuffed by the Summit defense.
Yeah, gain of maybe 1 there. And Finn, I bring you back to earlier in the game. We talked, I think, end of early second quarter. Storm in same position as they were before, except 4th and goal from the 5. They decided to go for it. Score was the same then. Do you still agree? I mean, obviously, looking back on hindsight, easy to say you disagree with that decision, but what's your take on that?
I like them going for that either way. I think it's a pretty high percentage play. Their offense has been rolling tonight, and here's some pressure on the QB, but he's gonna take it on the ground yet again, and he's looking at a first down. But there are flag markers on the field. I'm guessing it's probably gonna be holding, especially on a play that long.
Especially a play that long. Comes inside, and pretty clear holding. As we'll take another look at this. Ball gets snapped, as if you look right in the interior line here, as number 58, 6 or 8 there for the Storm, getting held pretty badly. And that will be half the distance to the goal there, and bring up a long 2nd down. As Henley backed up in their own territory again, Storm with 2 high safeties, and see what the Storm can do here with Henley backed up in a 2nd and 15 in their own territory, dropping back to pass, looking for it all, has a receiver and wasn't able to hit him.
Yeah, that's a frustrating play as a quarterback because that was a great throw. It was just a little bit off, couldn't quite find that connection. But, another slip up there for the Summit defense.
Yeah.
I mean, you have them 2nd and really, really long. You got to be a little more disciplined than that on the secondary.
Yeah, I think there was a very small window for him to throw that ball in. He saw it a second too late there with Villano coming over. Really impacting the quarterback's vision, but it brings up a massive 3rd and 15 for the Storm here. Storm needing a stop here.
And here we go, dropping back to pass.
Forced out of the pocket. Running for his life. There will be a holding. Throws it out of bounds. And appeared to be a holding penalty, as the refs will blow it dead. And again, that's the disadvantage at every level, all the way up to the NFL, college, high school. Quarterback scrambling out of the pocket. It's really hard for those offensive linemen to hold their blocks there. As we'll see what the Storm will do here. It is holding against Henley, and that penalty will be declined. Brings up 4th down and 15 in the back of their end zone, I imagine. Not a question whether you're punting this one or not, back of your own end zone, 4th and 15.
Yeah, good decision there from Summit to decline the penalty. Get the ball back from Henley with, I'd imagine pretty solid field positioning. And, I wonder if Henley can get this punt off.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of really close calls, and they have a short distance to punt this. We'll see what they can do here, but I'd imagine Summit, you can hear the crowd. They really want to block this thing.
As Henley had too many men on the field and needing to run off there. And is there going to be a timeout or a flag?
If that's a timeout, that's a big loss for Henley. In a close game like this, you need to keep your timeouts, and that's just a really unfortunate mistake from their special teams.
So the crowd there really having an impactful play, forcing Henley to take a timeout on a 4th and 15 on a pretty routine punt play. Couldn't get the right personnel on the field. Then someone went on the field that wasn't meant to be, needed a run off, and would have been a delay of game if they didn't call a penalty there, or if they didn't call a timeout. Sorry. As the Storm here, we say this every single drive. They need points. Need like a offensive touchdown at home. Just break that seal. Get that first one over with. I think that they just need to break that seal.
Yeah, they're yet to score a touchdown just purely through offense so far at home, and they got to do it here. This is the biggest game they've played all season. Did they have games against really impressive, tough opponents? Yes, but this is the biggest game in terms of what it means for the rest of their season. They're 0-3 right now. If they can't win this one, then that says a lot for the rest of their season. That is not a good look on the impact for the rest of their season, especially against a team like Henley, who's playing phenomenal, no question. But this is a 4A team, and they've played a lot of 6A teams, some of them in close games, and just haven't been able to get it done. But if they can't win this game, I think that is not a good look on the rest of their season, and that's really unfortunate because it's a really talented Summit team, and they have all the tools to be able to win these games, but they got to start going on offense, and you can see them rolling in this game on offense. They're just not quite reaching the end zone, but there's Crocker breaking a few tackles. He's moving down the field, and, he was just one step away from a touchdown there.
And you feel the energy in this building as he's making that run. They want a touchdown. And he's done a great job breaking through that first line of tacklers and then breaks. I can't even count how many tackles there.
Yeah, he's been super solid in this game so far, and all praise to Sawyer Crocker. But also the Summit O-line has been doing a lot for him. They've been giving him wide open holes to just run right through. And here he goes again. Falls forward and picks up a couple yards there on the first down.
Picks up 4 or 5 yards there, and you'll take 4 or 5 yards a carry. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Going right back to it. It's been a very impressive game for the Summit offense so far. The red zone struggles, I think, have been the major theme, and see if they could turn that around here. Need to keep a clean game, no penalties here, and really play fundamental footballs. They'll hand it off again inside, has blockers ahead. Sheds off 2 tacklers and picking up the first down. And Finn, I wonder what the next play is going to be here.
Yeah, you might as well just run it again. And they've been going to the air pretty much on every play in the red zone in the past couple drives. But this run game is rolling right now, and they're just bulldozing right through the Hornets. I say run it up the middle again. But, they might switch it up, and it looks like a toss here again to Crocker, and he's looking for some space. And it looks like he maybe gained a yard there, but the Hornets did a good job. They were all over that play.
I think going back to the previous play, run up the middle, it goes to show the dominance in the trenches Summit has had throughout the entire game. Defense knows you're running. Every single player on that defense knows who that ball is going to, and you still are able to pick up a first down. That is where it counts. But now 2nd and 10 as they'll fake the handoff. Guthrie drop it back, able to complete it. There is a flag down.
Yeah, that could be a really big loss for the Storm if that is a holding flag, and it looks like, unfortunately, there's an injury. Never mind. It looks like he's...
We'll take a look.
Quick.
A legal formation or something? You see the official closest to the Summit bench throw the flag here right after the ball was snapped.
Yeah, I think it might have been some sort of
a conduct. As the Storm will back up 5, so my guess is, yeah, an illegal formation call or something of the sorts. As now the Storm will be backed up, 2nd and 15. Guthrie dropping back to pass. Guthrie over the top.
and it's a touchdown for the Storm. And they've been looking for that all night. There it is, Guthrie. Just an incredible pass into the end zone.
And that's the first touchdown on offense that the Storm have gotten at home. And wow, Guthrie dropping back to pass.
And that's got to feel good for Andrew Guthrie. He's been looking for that for weeks now, and he finally gets it done.
As you see, we see good look at the receivers here. Who was that to? Kai Scally over the middle, and Guthrie just able to hit him in stride. Very impressive throw. Is this to extend the Summit score to 10? And they will. And that has completely flipped the game. I mean, I said it earlier in the drive. You felt the momentum that the energy that the Storm team wanted. This want for a touchdown and need for a touchdown, and they finally got one. As we'll take another look at the touchdown play. If we watch number 18 here, top receiver to you right now, Kai Scally just makes a good cut inside, and Guthrie able to thread the needle. Pretty pass. Is Summit now leading for the first time at home.
Yeah, this is Summit's first lead they've had at home all season.
Yeah.
They didn't lead that whole game against Wilsonville, and this is the first time they've been ahead in this game against Henley, and the energy is really high right now. I mean, the crowd had been waiting for that touchdown. They finally got it. We'll see what Summit does on defense here. Hopefully, get the ball back and just go put it in the end zone again. They broke the seal, and it's time to just pile it on now.
Yeah, it's Storm to kick it off here and see what the Storm defense can do. As that kick will go right to the goal line, caught, and Henley electing to return it, makes it up past the 20 and met by a load of Storm players, only able to get to the 21. As you feel the energy on this Storm team, I mean, they just completely changed the mood of everything. And you talked about momentum earlier, Finn, and that momentum pendulum is swung right back in the Storm's favor.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing a really good job, and the crowd is just feeding them that energy. And, they're eating it, and they're ready to get out here on defense and hopefully make a play. I think they're still looking for that big defensive play. They've been solid on defense, but, an interception, a forced fumble, even just a big sack would be super big. And I think that if they could finally sack Joe Janney, who's been so incredible for the Hornets, that would be a big uplifting play for them on defense to really prove to themselves that they can get going here. And here's Janney dropping back to pass. It's in the air, and it's incomplete, overthrown. Another super aggressive start for the Hornets, and it's paid off earlier in this game. I mean, they had that massive gain earlier tonight on just the first play of their drive.
If we watch the safeties here, very smart decision by both of them. They learned from the mistake that they made on the fourth down play earlier in the game that gave Henley 3 points there. Just not making any contact, realizing the ball's overthrown, and that will bring up a 2nd and 10.
And here's Janney in the backfield. Ball's in the air, and it's caught. Looks like just short of a first down.
Yep, as that will be a 3rd and 1. The Storm playing soft coverage there. And Henley taking advantage of that and picking up 9 yards as whistles on the field. And it appears there is a Henley player down on the far side there. Can't see what number that is.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate to see always, and especially in high school sports. At the end of the day, these kids are just out here to have fun, so you never want to see anybody get injured.
Yeah, appears to be just a cramp as they're stretching him out, but again, we can't get a number yet on that. Yeah, just appeared to be looks like a cramp, hopefully a cramp, as they'll stretch him out, get him some fluids, and hopefully he'll be okay. As yeah, back on that last play, Henley really, the Storm playing soft coverage, and Henley able to pick up 9, brings up this 3rd and 1. This Henley players still down, haven't been able to get a number yet. As he gets up, and it appears that's number 1.
Yeah, that's Bryson Montag, the senior for the Hornets. Was able to get up on his own and walk off the field on his own, so looks like he's hopefully okay. But always hate to see that. I'm glad he seems to be doing all right. And here comes the Hornets back on offense, and it's a QB draw, and he finds some room. That's a first down for Henley.
Smart play call there. Gave it to the quarterback, and able to pick up the first down. Our best wishes to Bryson Montag. Hopefully he can recover and will be okay. Appeared to be just a cramp. That's what we hoped for. As still only the 3rd quarter here. The 3rd quarter has gone by very slowly. As Henley is now set up 1st and 10 on their own 35.
And here's the run up the middle. They're stuffed by that Summit defense. Maybe a gain of just a couple of inches, but that's going to be, I'd assume, 2nd and 10 coming up here for the Henley offense.
Number 22 on the carry, Vincent Kern.
As Henley taking their time, and rightfully so, still only 3rd quarter. A lot of football left to be played, but if the Storm defense really want to make an impactful statement, here is the time on 2nd and 9. Dropping back to pass, pressure, has a receiver, and is it Kai Scally there? I think it was, able to jump up and make the acrobatic play.
Yes,
wow.
That was just perfect defense. I mean, that's what we love about this sport. That was just beautiful. That was poetry in motion, and it was Kai Scally able to tip that up. And I think that was a really big momentum builder on defense for the Storm, especially with how well Henley's been controlling the clock. I mean, they're not being rushed at all. They won't let this Summit team rush them whatsoever.
And momentum builder for the crowd here is brings up a 3rd and 9 with 1:21 left in the 3rd quarter. And quarterback pressured, able to get out of it. Storm defender able to juke one and pick up the first down, and keeps going, and finally tackled by Villano. Ooh, tough break there for the Storm.
Yeah, I mean, you always hate to see that on defense. That was nearly a sack that turned into a first down and then some for the Hornets. And, yeah, I mean, that scramble run has just been killing the Storm all night. That's pretty much been the main way that the Hornets have been gaining a lot of their yards, and that's going to extend their drive even further. It's been a long drive for them, just inching towards the end zone. Storm struggling a bit more in defense than they have earlier. They're not quite dominating the line of scrimmage as they have been earlier in the game. And here's the screen, and able to pick up about 4 yards there on the screen play. But as I was saying, I think Summit's starting to slow up a bit on defense, and they just need a big play to kind of get their head back in the game.
Yeah, I think Kai Scally so far making that, as you see him make the tackle there, one of the most impactful players we saw, especially on this drive. But again, that senior leadership still very important on every team. I know, obviously, we've talked a lot ad nauseum about this team being very young, but still, I think on defense they have some pretty dominant senior leaders. As Henley is content to let the clock wind out, as that will bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Summit on top of Henley, 10-6.
And here we go, back at it again. Henley on offense still. And they're going to run it up the middle. Oh, it's a bit of a fake play there. And Summit's all over it. A couple yards there For Henley, looks like maybe 2 yards there.
Going deep in the playbook, pulling out a little reverse there as quarterback fakes the handoff inside, pitches it behind him, and the Storm safeties coming down. And, I mean, they had their eyes all over that. Good football IQ there. As that will bring up 3rd and 4, a massive down here.
I mean, I think if Henley doesn't get this, they might go for it at this point in the game.
Yeah.
You know, it's the 4th quarter. They are behind. They have been in control, extending the play, and it looks like maybe a first down on the scramble again, and he does get it. Wow. Joe Janney's just been doing that all night for the Hornets, and that's going to bring up first down.
As you see, he had all day in the pocket. The Storm secondary doing a great job covering, but you can't cover that for too long as he's able to get out of the pocket.
Yeah, I think, you know, part of the reason that the Hornets have been able to run the ball like this off the pass so much against the Storm is that absence of Alex Neveroff. He's not on the field, and he's been a giant playmaker for the Storm on defense. He was last week big time against Wilsonville. He was getting back in the backfield and wreaking havoc, and the run up the middle is just completely stuffed.
Speaking of getting in the backfield and wreaking havoc, wow. There's a little chippiness there at the end of the play. That's to be expected. It's football. But that is a loss of 5 or 6 on the play.
Yeah, and I think the Storm needed something like that to really get them into this game and you know, keep keeping the Hornets out of the end zone. The Hornets haven't scored a touchdown, and they've had a lot of drives where they've been in really right position to go and get a touchdown. They've had a lot of, you know, explosive plays. They've had penalties. And, you know, if they can keep them out of the end zone here again, I think that's promising. And here's the pass rush. Janney again escaping the pocket. Oh. And he picks up about 3 yards before he's tackled.
If we take another look at this, I think perfect positioning here from the edge rushers, really forcing him, keeping him in the pocket, and just unable to make the tackle there. And that will happen against a talented quarterback. As approaching 10 minutes in the 4th quarter here.
Yeah, it's getting down to game time, and I mean, it's been a low-scoring game, but this is a really, really important drive here for Henley. I think that if they can return the favor against the Storm and score a touchdown, you know, that could be a bit of a game changer. They would have the lead at that point, and it would just take away that momentum that the Storm have been trying all game to build up.
3rd and 10, dropping back to pass. Pressured a little bit, lets it go, and that's picked off by Villano.
Massive play from Ari Villano, and he's just been doing stuff like that all night. He's been all over the place, and that's just going to kill Henley's drive that was going so well. They've been managing the clock, and you can see he just rushed that out of there. Villano saw something he liked and went up and grabbed it. Give me that.
Yeah, what a play by Villano. I think the safeties of the Summit defense, along with the D-line, have really been the strong suits. Safeties have their eyes on everything. I think the safeties really made some mistakes earlier on with that the 4th and goal, 4th and 10 that they were got a pass interference call on, and then the few deep shots that Henley's had. But making up for it big time was Villano, with really reading the quarterback's eyes, where he's going, and able to pick him off, and sets up the Storm with not great field position, but they'll take the ball and take it away from Henley.
Yeah, I think if I'm the Storm here, I'm just going to really take my time. You don't necessarily need to bleed the clock out here, but just really just control the pace. Don't do anything you're uncomfortable with. And here's a big play of Villano right after his interception, going and getting a couple yards on the run. Looks like about 8 yards there.
As they say, you said don't do anything you're uncomfortable with. The little handoff to Villano, or a little pitch play to Villano, is definitely something this Storm team is comfortable with, and his speed around the corner is just deadly.
That touch pass has been working for them all night, and you know, as the QB, you gotta love that. It's free completion and free yards for your stat sheet. So good play all around there. Sure the love.
Yeah. Ever trying to complete challenges in college football or Madden, gotta always run that jet touch pass, get you some free yards and complete it.
And here's the Storm here. First down. And breaking away again, here's Crocker, and that's another first down. They're moving the ball like butter right now against this Hornets defense.
And we've talked about this all night. Just that first broken tackle that he's able to make and just get through the second line and just very impressive, strong running. And the Storm, I mean, they have everything in their bag right now. They can pass it, they can run it, and we'll see what they'll do on 1st and 10. Fakes the handoff, keeps the ball, cuts it back, and makes a few more cuts. Picks up 5. Good play there from Guthrie. I think still let your running back do that. That's what your running back's job is, and I think their read option play, just let them have it. I mean, and don't risk yourself going in the trenches, as they'll hand it off again, and that was read beautifully by Henley's defense. Can only run it so many times. But again, mentioned this before, the positive play on 1st down negates kind of the 2nd down loss here, as it becomes a 2nd and call it 7, or 3rd and 7.
And I imagine they'll take the ball to the air here, let Guthrie throw the ball, and that is what they'll do. He'll drop back. Ball's in the air, and he can't find a guy. It's incomplete, so that'll bring up 4th down, and a really short drive for the Storm. I said when they started that they should really take their time and control the clock, and they did do that. Just unfortunately didn't quite take the yards that they wanted, and that's going to be a punt for them, and that's going to give Henley the opportunity to fight their way back into this game. But if I'm Summit, I'm not worried. Their defense has been super killer all night, and I don't see that changing right now. As long as they can stay disciplined, avoid penalties, and continue to do what they've been doing on defense, I think that they have a good shot at getting the ball back here and keeping in control of this game. And here's the punt, and Summit lets it roll all the way to the 21. And so Henley in their own territory. They got plenty of time to go and put together a drive, and they've been doing a good job controlling the clock and having these really long time of possession drives. And if they can do that again here, that's going to put them in a really good position if they are able to get into the end zone to win this game. I mean, if they can take 4 or 5 minutes on this drive, score a touchdown, that puts Summit in a really tough position on offense.
Yeah, I think going back, if we take a look at this last play here, we'll take another look at it here. Villano, I mean, a little miscommunication there between Villano and Guthrie, as Villano was meant to either be running the streak or the comeback. But anyways, going deep into double coverage, and that could have been almost offensive PIs. There is a flag thrown.
Yeah, and I mean, that's going to make you nervous on either team. Of course, you don't often see offensive PI, especially on the high school level.
As we'll wait for the call here, and as we wait for the call, we'll take a look at this replay. And I think, I mean, you look top of your screen here, I think the Storm defender turns around and Hoban kind of gets tackled there. I'm not sure that what Hoban's meant to do there is they are going to call offensive PI. Yeah, you don't see that too often. So we'll take another look at it here. Hoban just, I think, was in really good position, and the receiver kind of just made a bad play trying to go for the ball and instead just tackles Hoban.
Yeah, and I mean, as the Summit crowd is saying right now, you can't do that, and that's going to be a big drive killer for the Hornets. We'll see if they can recover from that. Still 1st down, but they got a long way to go, and this Summit defense has got to like this position right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. What is this? First and 20, they call it. As dropping back.
And
trying to find the corner.
Pressure in the end zone, nothing there. Was looking like almost a safety there for the Summit defense, and still no sacks so far in this game. It's been a really, really impressive job extending plays for Joe Janney on the Hornets, and he's just so aware in the pocket, and even moving around, he just has a lot of awareness of that pressure, and he just makes really smart decisions with the ball. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 20 here for the Hornets, deep in their own territory.
Yeah, 2nd and 20. Needed to adjust the scoreboard there. Wasn't prepared for 20. As dropping back is Henley, and pressure already in the...
And there's that sack they've been looking for. That's going to bring up 3rd and really, really long.
It's going to be 3rd and a little more than a mile there, as the Storm finally getting home, finally getting pressure. And I wonder what the play call is here. I mean, there's 7 minutes left in the 4th quarter, a lot of football. Henley's defense has been playing okay, but I mean, I don't think you have a play call for third and, what is this, 30-something?
I think that's 3rd and 37.
Yeah.
And here's Henley, I'd imagine dropping back to pass. It's a QB draw. He has room, and he's still on his feet. He's still moving.
Yes, Storm really dropping back in coverage, but again, I mean, he picked up, what, 28 on that play, and it's going to be a 4th and 5. See what Henley does here. 4th and 5, 6 minutes left in the game. What do you do here, Finn? What, you going for it, or you punting the ball?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to punt this. You still have plenty of time, and I think, you know, if you mess up and you don't get it going for it here, your game is pretty much over. That gives Summit so much power to just sit on the ball, run that clock down, and win this game. I think you got to punt it and just pray that your defense does what they can do, does what they've shown they can do so far in this game. And you also just got to pray that this doesn't get blocked, because these Summit guys are fired up, and he muffs the punt, but he still gets it off. And Villano drops the ball, picks it back up, and he's moving, and he has space, but he's brought down just past the halfway mark.
What a sequence of events here, as we'll go over this. Punter, low snap, and then, just like I was saying before, gets the punt off, and then Villano, something with that ball. No one's able to snap it, catch it, whatever. Villano gets up and able to break a few tackles for about a 10, 15-yard return there.
Yeah, now, I think OSAA might have to do an investigation for tampering. I think someone might have put some butter on the ball at halftime.
Yeah, that don't see everyone dropping the ball there on both teams. Really random, as Summit really content to slow this game down. I mean, 5:30 left in the game. Summit up 10-6 over Henley with possession about the 50-yard line. I mean, dominant run game. Now's the time to prove it. Or you do a little play action, fake it inside, and you send Villano on a streak route. And I'm not sure many people can keep up with him.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Storm, I'm not gonna fix what isn't broken. I'm giving the ball to Sawyer Crocker, and I'm watching him absolutely pound the Hornets D-line and get, 5, 10, 15 yards on every play. That's what he's been doing all game, and especially in this second half.
Yeah. As we'll see what they'll do is they'll do exactly what you said, Finn, and pound the ball and pick up 3 yards on the play, which is about what you expect, about good first down.
If 3 yards is more than 2, and that's going to set up a nice second down territory for the Storm. You don't have to be super aggressive here. You got the lead. That clock is ticking down. Just keep getting those first downs, keep marching down the field, and, hopefully you can at least put a field goal up to be in a bit more of a comfortable situation. And there's another run from the Storm. Going to pick up just a few yards there. That's going to bring up a 3rd and about 7, maybe 8.
I think a touchdown here seals the game. A field goal doesn't seal it. Henley can definitely score a touchdown, but they still need the 2-point conversion to tie it. But we're getting pretty ahead of ourselves here, as Storm really content in chew clock here. I mean, they've already taken almost a minute off this clock, but it is 3rd and 7. I'm more of a fan of a pass play here. I go for the first down instead of the clock here.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you give Henley the ball, and here's the pass, and it's caught, and here's some space, and Kai Scally picks up the first down and then some, and he was looking for the end zone again. He's been doing that all game, of course, scored that touchdown earlier, and that's a huge, huge play.
Little inside cut route again for Scally, and Scally off to the races there, showing the athleticism and showing the hands, and just like that, Storm are in the red zone, looking to seal the game here with a touchdown. As now 4 minutes left, and yeah, they'll just go to the handoff game, and they'll pick up 3, 4 on the carry. As Sawyer Crocker really stepping it up this game. I think really everyone on Summit stepping it up this game over Wilsonville. Of course, Wilsonville not a very friendly opponent to open up to in your home opener with a very young team. But
yeah, I mean, I just can't get over how incredible Guthrie has been in this game. He, I'm just going to be honest, he didn't look good last week. He looked not good against Wilsonville, and in this game, it's been a completely different story. He airs it out looking for Ari Villano in the corner of the end zone, but it's incomplete, and that's going to bring 3rd down for the Storm. And I'm kind of surprised that they go for the pass there. You know, if I'm them, I'm going to run the ball and just keep chewing the clock like gum. But here's the third down. You know, I don't mind settling for a field goal here. But, you know, obviously want to get that touchdown and pretty much seal the game. See what the Storm do here on third down. And here's Guthrie dropping back to pass. He finds a pocket. He's looking for the end zone. And it looks like he's got it. They're going to call that a touchdown, and I'd imagine that's going to be the game. 3 minutes left. Storm with a 2-score lead, and Guthrie taking all the power in his own hands, and he says, don't worry, guys. I got this. That's a touchdown for the Storm.
That's an amazing play from Guthrie here. We'll take another look at this. Guthrie stepping back in the pocket, looking for a receiver, feels the pressure off his backside, and then the beautiful spin move, and able to just use his weight to fall into the end zone.
I mean, yeah,
wow.
that's a beautiful play there from Guthrie, and that O-line also just opened that up like a door for him, and he just waltzed right through into the end zone. The extra point is up, and it's good. So that's going to be a 2-score lead for the Storm, up by 11 with just over 3 minutes here. Of course, crazy things have happened, but this is a pretty comfortable situation for the Storm, especially with how great their defense has been so far in this game.
As we'll take another look back at the scoring drive here, I think really 3rd and 7, you decide to either run the ball and chew the clock or pass it to your talented wide receiver, who's one of the seniors on this team, Kai Scally. And then once they get down into the red zone, Guthrie taking things into his own hands, an amazing pocket presence, feeling the backside pressure, and able to do a nice, pretty spin move into the end zone for 6.
Yeah, and that little Lamar Jackson, you know, ole ole on the juke, and here comes the kickoff from the Storm.
As you feel the energy in this stadium just completely skyrocket, complete change since last Friday, as Henley will elect to bring it out from their own goal line, bringing it up past the 15 and stopped right in his tracks at the 16. Is the energy. We've said this before, but even more so now, the energy has just completely shifted. That pendulum has swung.
Yeah, I mean, the Henley pass offense has been pretty strong in this game. They haven't found the end zone, but, you know, this game isn't over, and Henley does have some time. They have opportunities, and if they can just break down this Summit defense a little bit and get the ball, get some yards through the air, you know, they have opportunity to bring themselves back in this game. But, again, you know, it's a 2-score lead that this Storm team has right now, and it'd have to be a miracle for Henley
to get an onside kick.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not easy to do.
Yeah. As Henley will set up here, they've been known for their deep shots. That's what they've been successful with so far. And we'll see another one of them right now. If the quarterback can get it off, and he can't, the Summit defensive line coming in clutch. As we'll take another look at that. He had time to deliver that, but the Summit secondary and D-line working in unison there, coming around the edge and able to sack the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Summit was looking for that sack through 3 quarters, and in this 4th quarter now they got 2, and they've been doing a really good job keeping that containment on the D-line that they were lacking earlier in the game, and that's opened up opportunities for them to sack a really talented, shifty quarterback, and they're going to run the ball here. Not going far, and that's going to bring up 3rd down. And this is a really big stop for the Storm. It's 3rd down. I mean, you got to stop them twice here. If I'm Henley, it's 4th down. You got to go for it at this point in the game. So 2 stops away from victory. Here's the Storm on defense, and, of course, the Hornets on offense.
Yeah. And you feel, I mean, that sack earlier on 1st down is something that probably the Hornets would have gotten out of, as it's now 3rd and 12. This crowd doing the Seminoles chant. Hopefully Summit playing a little better than the Seminoles, and hopefully will pick up their first win, unlike them. as a really impressive throw out of the pocket, but they're going to say the receiver was out of bounds. We'll take another look at that.
Yeah, that's a really tough throw, and he just can't quite keep it far enough to the left to keep that in bounds. But either way, that's a super, super impressive play.
That was a really impressive throw from the quarterback, really. Unfortunate his receiver couldn't get that. But the party is starting at Summit Stadium as Henley now 4th and 12. Chuck something up, see what happens, but if you can't convert here, this game is over. It's
Low snap. Here's Jenny. What do you got? And nearly intercepted by Scally. He's been having a game, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. Summit with the ball and in position to score another touchdown before this clock winds out.
Yeah, low snap, just throws it up, which is something you got to do. And Scally able to be right there and come up with the deflection. Kind of good not to pick that and take the better field position.
And there goes Crocker for the touchdown. Breaks a tackle. It looked like just a little first down pickup, but Summit just like that back in the end zone. And you can hear that crowd.
Yeah, we heard the crowd before with Sweet Caroline, even after the music stopped, and Crocker just matching the energy as he is able to capitalize. I mean, our booth was shaking as we'll take another look at this after the extra point here. And the last touchdown wasn't already nailing the coffin enough. Just another nail in the coffin. As we'll take another look at this touchdown. I mean, 1st and 10, you're just trying to run the clock out. And he's running, doesn't get touched, puts on a little spin move and finds himself in the end zone. As we talked a lot about the mental side of the game, and I think that's a perfect example of it. Mental side of the game, I mean, you were down 17-6, and your defense, you're out of that. You go out there, game's over, and you just don't make the tackle. As crowd getting loud again, as
yeah, I mean, we were saying, oh, Summit just needs to break the seal on offense and score a touchdown. And they did, and it's just been a flood since then. 3 touchdowns here in the second half. Finally getting it going here on offense. We'll see what they do here on the kickoff.
Kickoff is in the end zone. See if Henley will return it and call a touchback there as Henley will get it. The ball with 1:46 left on the clock. I mean, they'll try something deep, but I imagine you're not going to get 2 onside kicks.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Crazier things have happened, but I think Summit's pretty much got this one in the bag. And, I mean, you heard the crowd. I believe that we have won, and I believe that Summit has won this game, and they needed it. We said earlier they are 0-3. Now they're 1-3 after this game, but they really needed this. This was the biggest turning point in their season, and they capitalized. They executed. They went out there, and they played a really great game.
As we get
Andrew Guthrie especially just stepped it up a huge way since last week. What do you think, Pierce?
Yeah, I mean, he's shown what he can do as Henley will be tackled for a gain of 5, but Guthrie's shown what he could do. And, I mean, I thought he outplayed his receivers today, and that's saying something with a really talented receiving core. I think Kai Scally really come in clutch, and, I mean, Ari Villano will, but, yeah, like we were saying the whole game, break that seal. they broke that seal, and like you said, floodgates opened.
Yeah, and speaking of Kai Scally, I mean, we've been waiting for him to really pop off. He's looked really good preseason. He looked really good in some of those earlier games, and he finally did it tonight, with that big touchdown earlier in the game, and he's also was really solid on defense. I think that he was one of the most underrated players in tonight's game. Sawyer Crocker was great, Andrew Guthrie was great, of course Ari Villano was great, but you can't underrate Kai Scally. He had an amazing game, and I'm excited to see what him and all those guys continue to do for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree. Going into Summit after Henley will start IMC play at Ridgeview, and then 2 more home games, Bend and Redmond. Of course, Bend will be a big one, the in-town rivalry, as we got some Born in the USA for the USA theme. And flag on the play, officials discussing it. Don't think it will matter as they wave off the flag as the crowd getting ready to rush the field. As we'll get another stoppage in place.
Don't forget, wait for the coaches to talk to the team before you go out to the field, please.
As now clock will run with 50 seconds left in the game, kind of just counting down here. 2nd and 4 will pick up will he pick up the first down? No, he won't. He'll pick up 2 yards, and it will be 4th and 2, 4th and 3. And I wonder if you just let the clock run out here.
Yeah, I mean, might as well just see what you can do. Maybe dig deep in the playbook and just try something out for fun. But, yeah, 20 seconds left in this game, and Summit just really able to turn it around. I mean, Henley was leading this game for the entire time up until that touchdown, and they were in control of that game as well, despite the low score. And Summit, scored that touchdown, and they were able to turn it around, got the dub here tonight against Henley. But, for the Hornets, it was a great effort. Summit is a tough team, and they're playing in the conference above you, 5A, of course, Henley in the 4A conference. And they were able to come out here, show off what they can do a little bit, and not able to get the dub. But Summit just super solid, super disciplined, and they reap the benefits of that kind of football because this final score is 24 for the Storm and 6 for the Hornets.
And I think the most important play of the game here was that interception late in the 3rd here, as we see Villano dropping back, reading the defense, reading the quarterback, and able to come up with the pick. And then, not the most important play of the game, probably the most fun, finally getting what he deserves in a touchdown. And just an exciting game here for the Storm. As just a good game going into next week at Ridgeview, and then of course they got Bend and Redmond at home, then at Mountain View and Caldera. For Henley, that will be their first loss of the season, as they'll go on to play Cascade Christian. Summit very familiar with them as Cascade Christian, really strong basketball program. But as that will do it. I'm Pierce Gordon. With me was Finley Gober. As we'll let you watch the celebration on the field.